Welcome to SmartLiving Training, Touch Keypad Overview and Operation. The Alien touchscreen comes in a 4 and 7-inch version, with the 7-inch offering a flush mount option. The keypads offer simplified system operation, an integrated card reader, voice speaker, voice recorder feature, and temperature sensor. There are custom user features such as photo frame feature and user changeable skins. On the top line display of the keypad, we have the date and time and system status icons, as well as temperature and an SD card indicator. On the bottom line of the display, we have the system arm status and trouble icons. On the right hand side of the keypad, we have a microphone at the top for a voice recorder and a prox reader on the bottom right. On the left hand side of the keypad is a USB programming port and SD card slot for photos. The wiring harness has 4 wires for the data bus and 2 RS-485 wires for future use. The 7-inch touchscreen has the same features, only a stylus is also included. Inside the keypad you'll find the USB programming port and micro SD card slot, a reset button, a touch calibration button, wired terminals instead of a wiring harness, and an optional battery connector for an internal backup battery. The terminal connections allow for an external auxiliary power supply source, data bus connections, an RS-485 connection, and 2 programmable terminals, which can be used for inputs or outputs. There are 3 user menu access menus that require a user code. The menu button allows access to actions such as stop alarms, clear call queue, and clear alarms. The activations option allows users to activate zones, user codes, remote keys, and even keypads, readers, and dialers. This is also where the user can enable internet access to allow remote connection to the system. The settings button allows access to change keypad settings under the Alien menu, as well as changing the system date and time, user pins, and dialer phone number. Installer menu can be accessed with the installation code. The system menu will display system faults, system voltage, and GSM info, such as signal strength and connection status. To enter the installer menu, press the settings button, then enter a user code. Select the installer button, then enter in the installer's code. Default is 9999. If the system is in maintenance mode, this removes the need to enter a user code to enter settings. The installer's menu is the same between the LCD and touchscreen keypads. The emergency buttons are triggered by holding down the corresponding menus for 2 seconds to trigger fire, medical, panic. To arm the system, check the arm ready status, then press the scenarios menu and activate the arming scenario required. Any unsealed zones will be listed on screen. To arm and disarm multiple areas, select the intrusions button, enter a user code, then select partitions. Use left and right to select a partition and up and down to change the arming state. Press OK to set all partitions. To disarm the system, first trigger an entry zone. This will display an entry timer on the screen where you can press disarm. Enter a user code to disarm the system. To disarm the system without triggering an entry zone, you will need to create a disarm scenario. To silence an alarm, press the menu button followed by a user code, then select actions and then select stop alarms. To bypass zones, press intrusion, enter a user code, then select zones. Use the zone on-off buttons to bypass and unbypass zones. To view the system log, press intrusion, enter a user code, then select logger. To view system faults, press system, enter in a user code, and select the faults button. To operate user-assigned outputs, press commands, select intrusion, and enter a user code. Use the on-off buttons to operate the outputs. Outputs must be assigned to a user in order to appear in the list. To change a user code, select Settings, enter in a user code, Then select Change PIN. Select the details for the user code to change the PIN. The installer must enable additional codes before they'll appear in the list. This completes this training module.